Last week on this channel, I posted a video on whether or not mock collecting would die with the advent of plastic-free packaging from Hasbro. So when I saw some of Hasbro's first plastic-free package figures, I thought it was only fair that I would pick these things up and share my experience of buying these toys and opening them up and see, if it really is a lesser experience. So, no bubble, no problem? We'll find out on this episode of Geek Dad Life. Hello everyone, welcome to Geek Dad Life. It's your host, Jay Gladfelter here. All right, a lot of you watched and commented on my Death of Mock Collecting video, and it seemed only fitting that my target would get some of Hasbro's first plastic-free package figures on my toy shelves. They are for Thor, Love, and Thunder, which is coming out soon. I'm excited for the film. Love Thor Ragnarok, one of my favorite Marvel movies. So these aren't Marvel Legends figures. These aren't the adult collector figures. These are, I guess the toys that are for the kids. The Marvel Legends Thor, Love, and Thunder figures do not have the plastic-free packaging. They will still have the older Marvel Legends box design, but these ones have, I guess, what will be their go-forward for their plastic-free packaging for the kids' toy action figures. And while I fully support having less plastic waste in toy packaging, I gotta say, this was kind of a weird experience. As I was going down the toy aisle, I almost miss these figures because they kind of blend in when you're looking at all of the different options that are available. Even for Thor, Love, and Thunder, these kind of become anonymous when you have so many figures that you can actually see. Now, there's more plastic-free designs that show the actual figures. These do not. So this is, I think, some of the frustration for mock collectors is that you can't even see the figure. And, I understand that frustration, but I'm going to look at this through the lens of being a parent that would buy toys for their kids. And I got to say, even from that perspective, I would probably choose one of the ones that I can actually see the toy, because these blend in. I probably would miss these unless I was really looking for it. And these are also $15, so a little pricey for what is supposed to be a toy for a kid. I would probably buy one of the 12-inch Thor, Love, and Thunder figures because you actually see the figure, you see the toy, and you kind of know more of what you're getting. With these, I have no idea the size. I haven't really looked up anything about these figures other than that I saw them on a toy shelf. So I don't know what the scale is. I'm guessing a 5-inch scale. Maybe they can do something like, Cheez-Its or other chips and stuff like that when they show it on the packaging and it says like actual size or something like that. And as far as I know, there's nothing that denotes that on the packaging. But I guess overall the packaging's okay, even though it looks like a digital render. It doesn't even look like a picture of the figure. The back shows that they each have action features, which is cool. But again, since they're fully encased in this box, it doesn't really engage the buyer, whether they're a kid or a parent, to be like, I want to pick these toys up for my kid that loves Thor, Love, and Thunder. So just from the packaging experience, the buying experience, it is a lesser experience than, what we've become accustomed to with actually seeing the figures. So I think it's time to open these things up and see if the pictures of the figures on the box truly represent the figures that we get inside. Oh, this is bad. Oh my God, this is so bad. All right, I want to be as diplomatic as possible because, again, I believe reducing plastic waste from packaging is something that all toy companies should do. But these figures are terrible. They are awful. If I saw these, in any form, again, just even as a little window cutout, I would not have bought them. Very limited articulation. The accessories are molded onto the figure, and the actual look of the figures themselves, in my opinion, don't even come close to what we saw on the packaging. So let's try and look at the positives. They are relatively large scale. They're almost 6 inches tall. But that's about it. The likeness isn't even close. All right, see if I can get this in focus here. The Jane Foster Thor, again, just looking at how she looked on the packaging, looks awful on the figure. And the Thor is better, but that's not saying much. The paint applications are better on, you know, the Mighty Thor versus regular Thor, but honestly, these are practically like McDonald's level toy quality for $15 each. I spent $30 on these. If I was a parent, I would think these weren't worth it. As a toy collector, I don't think they're worth it. So again, I haven't bought the, I guess, kid release versions of any of the Marvel stuff in recent memory, but let me tell you, the Ghostbusters Afterlife Fright Features toy line, the kid toy line, was fantastic. Didn't have a ton of paint apps, but the sculpts were great. The figures looked great. They were fun. My kids loved playing with them. And I, as an adult toy collector, loved them as well. These at $15, $5 more than those figures were, are honestly, I hate to say throwaway, but they're throwaway toys. The action features aren't that great. Again, Kenner had it better with the Superpowers figures 40 years ago almost. Thor's is okay, but the Mighty Thor, and again, I you know, I haven't seen the movie, but I guess she reconstructed Mjolnir. But it's supposed to, you know, swing it around like Thor does in the Flyaway, but this is bad. It looks like she broke her arm. And the head is too small, like, and the arms are too big. I mean, I know Natalie Portman got like jacked for this role, but you know, as we see in the trailer, she looks badass, and this figure looks just awful. It's like the head's too. It's just this is just bad. I guess they stand up, but like again, I feel like it's, you know, Tom Hanks and Big.
Yes. I don't get it.
So, okay, how much of this is the packaging's fault and how much is it just these are just bad figures? I think it's a bit of both because, you know, again, if you could see these and kind of know what you were getting, I think you would have passed on, or I would have passed on these, absolutely. And again, while, you know, they're not significantly smaller than they were on the package, I mean, the figure on this box looks way cooler than this figure right here. And I assume the Marvel Legends figures that do not have a bubble to see the figure are going to be much nicer than these, and I gotta hope they will be. But as a parent that would buy toys for their kids, I would be disappointed in these. My kids would be disappointed in these. And, you know, this is a bad first impression for the plastic-free packaging for me. This doesn't mean I think this should be avoided altogether. We have to try and reduce plastic waste, but this was a miss on just about all accounts for me. The art didn't match the figure that was inside, and the actual figures, the actions, everything about it was just a very underwhelming and disappointing experience. So hopefully they can kind of take this feedback or hear this feedback and try to continue to come up with innovative ways to reduce the plastic waste, but still let us see the figure that's inside. Or at the very least, if you're going to not show us or allow us to see the figure that's in here, you need to make sure that what is in the box meets the expectations of what we're seeing outside of the box. So these will sadly get the Geek Dad Life not buy rating. I feel like I wasted $30, and I would hate to see anybody have that same feeling. I want to thank my patrons, the people that make this show possible. You can find a full list of them right here. If you'd like to see your name in the credits, become a patron today at patreon.com/geekdadlife. Definitely check out some of my other videos like this one that YouTube wants you to check out, and one of my more recent videos. And until next time, hasta luego, and goodbye.